I didn't think twice when I said it. I can't wait for tomorrow, I added, half laughing as I reached for a drink. It's been years since everyone's been in one place. The room didn't react the way I expected. Not disagreement, just a small, almost synchronized pause. My brother chuckled. "What?" I said, still smiling. "Did they move it or something?" He looked at me like I'd missed a step in a conversation I was supposed to be part of. "It already happened," he said. "Yesterday." I thought he was joking. It felt like that kind of setup. Something casual, something I'd catch up to in a second. "Yeah, right," I said. My aunt was already pulling out her phone. "No, look," she said, scrolling. "We were all there. It was nice, actually." She turned the screen toward me. Group photos, different angles, people I knew standing shoulder to shoulder in a backyard I recognized, my parents, my cousins, my brother, front and center, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in a while. I looked at the date in the corner. Yesterday. I didn't feel embarrassed right away. That came later. First, it was just blank. "Oh," I said. My brother shrugged. "Guess I forgot to tell you." "Ha ha ha." He said it lightly, like it explained everything. No one corrected him. No one added anything. I waited, just for a second, to see if someone would. No one did. I nodded once, like I understood something I hadn't been told. Then I set my drink down and stepped back. Not abruptly, not in a way that would make people turn. Just enough to leave the conversation without announcing it. I stayed for another 10 minutes, maybe less. Long enough to confirm that nothing about the room had shifted. Conversations resumed. Laughter came back in small pockets. Whatever had happened yesterday hadn't left any kind of gap for them, so I left without saying anything. Outside, the air felt colder than it should have. Or maybe I just noticed it more. I walked to my car slowly, replaying the moment, not the photos, not even what my brother said, but the way no one stepped in. That was the part that settled differently. Over the next few days, I didn't hear from anyone. Not immediately, at least, which made sense. There was nothing, from their perspective, that needed fixing. By the end of the week, the messages started. Small ones at first. "You left early. Everything okay?" Then, more specific. "Hey, quick question. Are you still handling the permits for Dad's property thing?" That was the first time I paused. Not because I didn't know the answer. Because I understood the question behind it. I had been helping with it for months. Paperwork, inspections, navigating the parts no one else wanted to deal with. It wasn't complicated for me. Just time-consuming. And quietly expected. I looked at the message for a while, then set my phone down. Later that afternoon, my brother called. "Did you see my text?" he asked. "I did." "Okay, good. So you can still." "I'm not going to be involved in that anymore," I said. Silence. "What do you mean?" I leaned back in my chair, watching the light shift across the room. "I mean you'll need to find someone else." Another pause, longer this time. "Is this about the reunion thing?" he asked, a slight edge creeping in. "Come on, it wasn't that serious." I didn't respond right away. "It wasn't about the event," I said finally. "It was about being the only one who didn't know it existed." "That's," he started, then stopped. "You're overthinking it." Maybe, but overthinking doesn't usually come out of nowhere. "There's a deadline next week," he added. "We kind of need you on this." That word "need" landed differently now. "I understand," I said, and I'm still not going to be involved." He exhaled sharply. Not angry, just frustrated. "Okay," he said. "Fine, we'll figure it out." I nodded even though he couldn't see it. "I'm sure you will." After we hung up, I expected to feel something stronger. Anger, guilt, relief. Instead, it was quieter than that. More like something had shifted into place. A few days later, my dad called. Then my aunt, different tones. Same underlying question. "Why are you pulling away?" I didn't explain it in detail. There wasn't much to explain that hadn't already been shown. "I'm just adjusting some things," I told them. It wasn't a complete answer, but it was an honest one. The property issue got resolved eventually. Slower, from what I heard. More complicated. They figured it out. People usually do. The next time there was a gathering, I heard about it ahead of time. An actual invitation this time. I looked at it for a while. Then I set my phone down. Not out of spite, just because being included, later, didn't feel the same as being considered in the first place. And I wasn't interested in pretending it did.